And he doesn't need to indulge in this. I would advise Dr. Yasir Qadhi to stop indulging in this, because this is not his field. He's not an authority to say. I mean, when he wrote his book Introduction to the Quranic Sciences, he was a graduate student from Medina University. Okay, he was in his early 20s. He was a student. Okay, I don't know what his exact qualification in the Quran is. What he needs to do, he needs to delegate the task to the Ahlul Quran, to the Qur'an, to the masters of the Quran, people who have done PhDs in the Qira'at, and they have mastered the transmission of the Quran. He needs to delegate to them.
He just threw Qadi under the bus, threw him under the bus. And he didn't get upset with hijab. He got upset with Qadi. Why did Qadi mention these things? Why did Qadi just not simply hold out the Birmingham folios?
If you ask me this question today, what would you write on a blank notebook if we were asked to write the Quran on that blank notebook? I would write exactly this.
This was what
and why I would write that? Because this is exactly what's here. From page 1 to the page last. If you go to islamicawareness.org, there is a list of Qur'ans from the 1st century. We have the entirety of the Quran, from the 1st century. The entire Quran, we have it from the 1st century. Okay, in different libraries. Okay, we even have complete copies. The Husseini Mosque manuscript, which is from the 1st century in Cairo. Okay, Husseini Mosque manuscript is from the 1st century of Islam. It's in Cairo. It is 99% complete. The complete text of the Quran. Only first 2 or 3 pages are missing. Surah Al-Fatiha and maybe the very early verses of Surah Baqarah are missing.
There are so many mistakes he made in just those few minutes. He mentioned that the Birmingham folios prove. He said, why did he just show this? Because there's no Qira'at. See, Qira'at are only the dots added and the vowelization. That's done in the 8th and 9th century. So the Qira'at is not the most damaging material. This is not even that damaging. When Qadi said this is the most difficult question they've had, no, it's not, Qadi. Wait till you see what we're going to throw at you. This is all from the 8th, 9th, and 10th century, way over here. I don't care about that. I want to know what's happened in the 7th century. I want to know what's happened in the very beginning. I want to know what happened at the time of Uthman in 652. I want to know where that Uthmanic recension is that you're always talking about. Where's the original Quran? And that's what Adnan tried to say. Adnan tried to bring that in. Did you notice? What is the Quran that he claimed was the Uthmanic Quran? The Husseini Quran in Cairo.
Right.
What an idiot.
Wow.
Claiming that, and did you notice what he claimed? He said it was from the original, but then he quickly qualified himself. No, it's from the 1st century AH. That means up to 719. Yeah. That this is before 719. Who in the world would ever accept that? 719? Nobody considers this to be even an 8th century Quran. It may be a late 8th century, but many people put this to the 9th century. What's more, it does not belong to the 63, that Islamic Awareness website that he claimed where it's been housed. He said it's in the Islamic Awareness website. Go up on the Islamic Awareness website and see if it's part of the 63 fragments that they have listed there. Not at all.
When they radiocarbon date the parchment, are they it's the parchment itself that they're dating, or is it the ink on the paper, or is it both? How does that work?
It's the actual skin, it's the actual material. They carbon date the material, and basically the dating tells you when the animal was killed, because it is vellum. It comes from goats. It is basically goat skin, and it is highly likely that it was penned, it was written according to the study of paleography. Even the text, it is very, very ancient. It is early Hijazi script. It is very, very early Arabic writing. So both basically facts correlate. Okay, the dating of the parchment and the text.
Making mistake after mistake after mistake, saying that radiocarbon dating not only dates the parchment, it also dates the ink. Nobody in their right mind would make that kind of statement. Obviously, he doesn't know what he's talking about. The Birmingham folios is just 2 pages front and back. It's parts of
if you will.
in 020. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not a whole manuscript. It's just a few. What's more, nothing on it is about Islam. All of it is about Moses. It's about the 7 sleepers of Ephesus. And if you look at these stories have nothing to do with Islam. These are pre-Islamic stories.
Right.
What's more, The dates are 568 to 645. When was the Quran finally canonized under Uthman? In 652. So even if you go with the latest date, the last date, it's 7 years before the Quran was even finally canonized, finally written down.
Yeah.
So how could it be the original Quran? Secondly, on top of that, carbon dating is so inexact. The fact that they have to put from 568 to 645, that's almost 100 years wingspan, proves that this is a very inexact science. Thirdly, what you notice, and this is what you brought up, when you talk about radiocarbon dating, you can only look at when the animal died. So the parchment may have been created at that time. Let's say 645. They're going to go with the latest date, obviously. Let's just say it was created 645. When was it written on? That could be decades later. That could be many years later. What's interesting is you cannot date the ink because the ink is amalgamation of many different pigments that come from many parts of the world, that come from many
years. Only date one.
Nobody ever dates the ink. You can only date the parchment. Now, so Adnan made enormous mistakes, but it's what he has done us a favor, and this is what I want to talk about. In this whole thing, everything has been Qira'at, which is way back in the 8th and 9th century. I don't want to talk about the Qira'at. I would rather they talk about the manuscripts. So who has done us a favor by now pushing us into the manuscripts but Adnan Rashid? Which means now, this week, we're going on the offensive. Remember, Kay, I've said always, the best defense is a good offense. Always put them on the defense. Notice nobody's talking about Bible manuscripts. Nobody's talking about the historicity of Jesus. None of this. It's all against Islam, and it's all against the Quran. The one thing the Muslims don't want us to talk about is this. I think we really do have Islam in a corner. I've never seen it this easy for me. I've never seen it this exciting. I've never seen this many admissions, and I've never seen Muslims starting to censor themselves. Since when do you censor an interview of 25 minutes midway through the week? Why do you do that? Unless, of course, you don't have answers. I would suggest that this may be the beginning of the crack of Islam starting to open. And I don't think we're just going to have a few. I think we're going to have thousands, maybe even millions who will finally live Islam over this one question. Let's see.
You will never succeed because the pens have been lifted, papers are dry. We have the physical copies from the 1st century, from the life of the Prophet ﷺ. They are exactly the same as this, what we read in our homes. Okay? So keep crying, keep crying, keep crying.
What is the Quran that he claimed was the Uthmanic Quran? The Husayni Quran in Cairo.
Right.
What an idiot.